everyone. Today we have Miss Tyagi, Kiran Tyagi. She is the world champion in powerlifting. Recently won a gold medal in the world championship that was conducted in Mongolia. So hi.
Yeah,
Thank
hi.
you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much.
You have been an inspiration to a lot of women, I guess, right? So, today we would like to understand the history behind how you broke your limitations and you have come out from being a housewife to another level of getting out into the world championships, right? It will be really amazing to understand the entire journey from you, ma'am.
As I said, I was a housewife. I got married in 2003 and till 2018 I was just a housewife handling my 3 children, my house and housework, and pleasing everybody in the family was just the motto of the day. In 2018, life demanded me to do something for my own self. Life was completely, suddenly it was upside down. So I'm not a quitter, so I decided that I have to survive in the upside down state, and so I started working on myself. Till that time I didn't know how to break my barrier, because being a housewife we have our own shell, we are all covered with our own limitations. So even I didn't know any potential about me. I never realized what I could do, but yes, I had one thing in my mind that I have to do something for my self-respect. Self-respect and self-survival was one drive that brought me from a housewife to this stage today, I think. So I did not ignore it. I worked on it.
Great. So now that leads to our second question as to, I'm sure you would have faced a lot of hurdles, while practicing, while making this decision to get into the specific sport. Right? It would be great to understand, how you tackled them and what are the at least two major struggles that you went through.
See, first of all, lifting weights anyways is not a normal thing for a female. In our society, still females are not very open about the idea of lifting weights or getting into lifting weights. So, but yes, the lifting weights, the iron, when I started lifting, I would say it started lifting me up reversely. And from there I started getting ideas, because I was 100 kgs and then I worked on myself. The first thing I did, I started working on myself before I could even work on any other idea, how to, what next. Before what next, I worked on myself, and from 100 kgs I brought it down to 61 kgs, and that opened a lot of mental productivity, and that introduced me to my own potential. If I could do this, I can do even better. And from there I started lifting weights, and then I thought of taking the formal education in lifting, because lifting was something that was the only happiness I had that time. That was the only thing which made me realize my worth. That I'm doing something. Otherwise, being a housewife, you know how it is, we can do 100 of works, but we are still always at a stake where we are always being judgmental, that we are not enough in our duties.
So basically the happiness of lifting
happiness,
heavy,
that the happiness which lifting gives, and to know it, you have to lift weights to know that happiness, to know those hormones which they release, and they make you feel so mentally strong. So I owe all my credit to iron that I lifted, and from there on I started learning. I did my professionalism in professional learning in personal training K11, and I did my sports nutrition, and from there on I started taking trainings. So what studio you can see today, I was not like this. I started from taking home trainings.
Okay.
So I used to go far places and I used to take home trainings. So I used to go from Khadki to even Baner and far areas to take training. And then that's how I started, and then those people started coming to Khadki, then I opened this studio.
Then when was that time, when you decided now I can participate in a competition? I mean, training is very different. I mean, giving training is very different than participating in a competition, and that too, at different levels, like national level, international level. So, I mean, I think that is something which something must have triggered, right?
Correct.
That you would want to get into a competition
Correct.
like that. Yeah.
Correct. It was, I never had an idea of becoming, I never had any will to become a business woman also. It happened because people pushed me to. And becoming a player was totally something which I just wanted to give it back to the hurdles which I was getting into my business.
Right.
I had faced a lot of problems, like COVID was there, and then surviving was the biggest issue for me that time. And I thought I have to add value to my business, I have to add value to my work, I have to add value to my knowledge, what I can do, how I can stand out that I have knowledge. I know I have knowledge. How can I put it across to my clients or to my people that I have knowledge?
Okay.
This was the idea of beginning for me to enter my game. Okay. And in 2021 February, there was there's a platform, Iron Games. So they started with this competition. They have this for novice players, for beginners like me. And I got a message, so I thought this is something I would love to do. Great. And I went ahead with it. Great. And from there it is like a never looking back.
That is great.
And from 21 and in now 23, I'm a 3 international championship medal earner. So it's very big achievement, especially for me. Because I don't have that background. I have a background of a housewife, of a family person, handling kids, and then from there to this world stage, it's like a miracle for me also.
Yeah, it has
I can say I'm blessed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's really amazing to see someone working so hard with so much of. I'm sure this would be the self motivation from within that must have driven you so hard.
Yes.
To get out and perform in a competition and also bring back so many medals to
Yes.
India, right?
Yes.
Now, for our audience to understand, I mean, there has been a drastic change, I'm sure, in your lifestyle as well, from being at home, then getting into a zone of work, then next level is getting into a very highly disciplined lifestyle, while you're getting into competition. So it would be really good for us to understand how the transition had happened and how you have made those changes in your lifestyle to achieve the final goal that you are right now, the medals that you have had with you.
Correct. See, it requires a lot of self-discipline.
Yeah.
But I would say people people run after the motivation. Motivation we have today, tomorrow we might not have motivation. Today we are happy, tomorrow we have some other challenges. And I used to have, every day when I used to get up, I used to have 10 different challenges at me. Life was not easy for me. I made it easy, but yes, because I wanted to make my life easy. I am not a person who will play at the back foot. I would do anything to live my life at the front foot. I would give it back to the hurdles, I would give it back to everything, but I would be on the front foot. So just because I never wanted to be at the back foot, I used to get up, I used to take every single challenge without any motivation. But yes, I had lot of self-discipline, number one. And before self-discipline, I would say, which people miss these days, they don't have self-love. I used to have, I still have, I'm such a self-obsessed person that I would love myself to any limit. How we want to do something for our loved ones, for our children, for husband, for our mother, father, family, we are ready to do anything to make them happy. But we don't even think about ourselves, that what steps are we taking to keep ourselves happy. Right. And during my bad times or during my low phase in life, which actually I don't consider a low phase, because if that low phase wouldn't have come, I would have died as a housewife. I wouldn't have seen myself as a world player. Right. So the only thing which kept me going was number one, self-love. From self-love, self-discipline comes. These are the two important ingredients which I kept applying every single day, repeatedly. And I kept my goals on a very daily basis. I did not keep major goals, I have to do this, I have to do that. I just kept thinking, tomorrow I have to do this. and I used to make sure that I
So one
finished
step
my
at a
goal,
time.
one step at
Small
a time,
milestones and then you
and
achieve.
with all self-love and all self-discipline. That's it. This is the only mantra I applied.
That's great. So when you say self-discipline, so there are multiple factors associated with it. Your self-discipline includes exercise, of course, which that's the core that you do. Then you have your nutrition, which is there, and also I mean there might be some other aspects as well as a part of your lifestyle changes, right, to achieve the specific self-discipline. So if you could explain what are the changes if
Yeah.
someone, say from a person who is a regular person would want to get into get into competition like this, what are the few important factors as a part of your lifestyle changes that one should induce in their own life?
Correct. See, luckily, because I had already gained knowledge in my exercise science and nutrition science, so that helped me a lot, because I didn't have to rely on how to increase my performance. I had that knowledge already, and that really helped. See, we think when it comes to food, we just associate it with the fat loss or fat gain thing.
Correct.
People are obsessed just about the idea of getting thin.
Right.
They don't consider food as a fuel.
Correct.
How it can act in our body as a fuel, and how it can affect us mentally, physically, when it comes to our strength or performance or endurance or any physical goal or even mental goal which we want to achieve. The food plays a very, very important part. How we are feeling about what we feel, what we feed our body, our thought becomes that way. So I was lucky enough to understand the science behind the food. I applied all my knowledge, and that really helped me in improving my performance. And when it comes to exercise science also, keeping aside the aesthetic goals of looking thin,
Correct.
I worked towards achieving strength. And even when I was preparing for my world championship or my nationals or my any competitions, I never paid attention to the competition, running after the competition, but to apply the small knowledge which we have, just work on the basic idea of improving the strength and endurance of your body. Rest any target you can achieve.
Okay, great.
Then sky is the limit.
So let's get into the most favorite rapid fire round.
Okay.
So I'll ask you questions and we're looking forward to quick answers.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready.
Ready? Okay. What type of exercise would you like? Bench press, deadlift?
Oh, my favorite is deadlift. Anytime. आप बोलोगे सो के मारो, मैं वो भी मारूंगी.
Great. What technique would you go for deadlift? Sumo or conventional?
See, my favorite is conventional, but when I compete, I do sumo.
Okay.
And the basic difference people always want to know about conventional and sumo is, see, it depends on anatomy, your body structure, your body frame, and then adaptation towards that technique.
Correct.
So it might differ. Some people might go for conventional or some go for sumo, but I love to do both.
Great. What type of food would you prefer? Sweet, savory?
Savory.
Okay. If you're given an option to relax, would hiking be one or relaxing on the beach?
So I would early morning go hiking and come back and lie down on the beach.
Good answer. So thank you so much for giving us this time.
Thank
It was
you,
great
thank
talking
you.
to you.
Thank you so
and
much.
I hope the audience also loved it, and there's a
Thank
lot
you.
of things to learn from her.
Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.